Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining me this afternoon for beginner yoga. Let's start by coming to seated with legs crossed in a nice, easy pose. Just find a comfortable seat and start to lift up through the crown of your head. And take a few cleansing breaths here, inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth, allowing the shoulders to relax away from the ears. And finding yourself here with eyes closed or nice soft gaze towards the floor. And just breathing in and out through the nose. Nice long spine, lifting up through the crown of your head, grounding down through the sits bones. Creating space here for a nice deep breath. As we move through our practice today, remembering that the main focus is our breath. Take a moment to notice the quality of your breath. Noticing whether or not you can send the breath down to the lowest lobes of the lungs and emptying to the lowest lobes of the lungs. On your next inhale, start to fill the lower lobes of the lungs into the upper middle lobes of the lungs and the upper lobes of the lungs. Exhaling, we're just going to empty the lungs starting at the top, into the middle, and reaching all the way down to the lower lobe. So drawing the navel in, just emptying out that stale air that may be trapped or stuck in the lower lobes. Keep breathing, inhaling, filling up. Exhaling, emptying. And try not to force here. Just think of your three-part breath. And beginning to remove thoughts. So every time a thought starts to enter your mind, allow it to come and go. Remain focused on your breath. On your next inhale, slowly start to blink your eyes open and maybe just keep your gaze low to begin with. Exhaling, dropping your chin to chest. Allowing the head to be nice and heavy here. We're just going to work this curvature in the neck. Inhaling ear to shoulder. Exhaling to center and inhaling toward the other side. Just working through any stiffness, any tightness, any achiness that we might be feeling here. Keep moving, using your breath, working through movements with the breath. And then maybe hang out over on the right side for just a moment, ear over the shoulder, and give the left shoulder a few rolls. Just sort of loosening up this area. And then breathe into the neck here, into any tight areas in the neck. And then maybe turn your gaze toward your mat, breathing again here. Inhale, lift your gaze, come back to center. Exhale, drop your head once more. Inhale, rolling left ear over left shoulder this time. Give the right shoulder a few rolls, just opening up any tight areas here. Loosening up. Shoulder comes back and down as you breathe into the neck here, opening up. Exhale, turning the gaze towards your mat, breathing. Inhale, lift the gaze, come back to center. We'll go ahead and switch the feet. So opposite foot will be in front this time. And we're just going to do a few cat-cow just in our seated posture here. So just bring your hands to your knees. We're going to inhale, start to lift the heart, maybe lift the gaze. And then exhale, draw your chin to chest, round your spine, and start to tuck your tailbone. Inhale, come back to neutral. Let's do that a few more times. Inhale, lift the heart, look up. Exhale, chin comes to chest, round the spine, tuck the tailbone. Inhale, back to neutral. Exhale. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, chin to chest, round your spine, tuck your tailbone. Inhale, back into neutral position. We're going to bring the right hand just behind you. And left hand comes to the outside, excuse me, of the right knee. Inhale as you lift the heart, and then maybe exhale and turn the gaze over the right shoulder. Maybe just keep the gaze forward, whatever feels good to the neck and shoulders. Breathe. Inhale, come on back to neutral here. Maybe a little twist here. Any movements that feel good to you. We're going to bring the left hand behind you. Right hand comes to the outside of the left knee. Lift the heart. Exhale as you gaze over the left shoulder, or just keep the gaze forward. Breathe. Inhale, come back to neutral. A few shoulder rolls here can feel take your time, move through that cracking and popping, any crunching that you're hearing. Keep breathing. Switch directions. And then inhale, press through the palms, drop your chin to chest, feel that nice stretch behind the shoulder blades. Exhale, release. Re-interlace your fingers behind you. Start to press down through the tops of the hands. Lift the heart as you inhale. And exhale, release. Let's go ahead and come off of the blanket. We're just going to extend the legs out in front and shake out the leg bone from the hip socket. So leaning back into the hands, lift the heart, shake out the leg bone from the hip socket. Maybe lift the gaze. Try not to sink down into the shoulders, but really lift out and up out of the shoulders. Point and flex the feet a few times. And go ahead and slide the leg bone back into the hip socket, and we'll do a few ankle circles here. I'm just preparing the body. Maybe a little massage up and down the legs for a moment. And feel pretty good. Waking up, maybe a little massage around the knee joint. All right, placing hands next to the hips. You can also place a blanket under your seat if your spine is starting to round. Start to lift up through your crown. Flex your feet. Maybe spread your toes nice and wide. See how wide you can spread your toes. Inhale. Exhale, draw your navel towards your spine. And let's start moving in one direction. So full circles all the way around in one direction. Breathing, continuing to breathe. Again, that's our main focus. Switch directions. Once more, leaning back into the hands, point and flex the feet, and then shake out the leg bone. Lift the heart, shake it out. Do whatever feels good to you here. Let's go ahead and swing the feet around and make our way into tabletop position. I'm going to bring my blanket under my knees just for a little extra cushion. We're going to work through 3 rounds of table to child. So bring yourself to your tabletop position. Spread your fingers nice and wide. Wrists are under the shoulders, knees under the hip bones. Look towards the top of your mat. Take a nice deep inhale. Exhale as you draw your navel towards your spine. ears in line with the arms. Inhale, tabletop. Once more, press the hips back. Exhale. Inhale to tabletop. Okay, I'm just gonna take my socks off here for a little extra grip. So we're back in tabletop position, and I just want you to tuck your toes under. So tuck your toes under, look towards the top of your mat, take a nice deep inhale. Exhale, draw the navel toward the spine. And then inhale, start to lift the knees and see if you can press the hips back. So we're coming into a bent knee, downward facing dog. So you're looking to bring belly towards the thighs. If your heels don't make it towards the floor, that's okay. We don't want the heels to the floor in this particular pose. And on your next exhale, go ahead and come back down into your tabletop position. Untuck your toes. Inhale, look towards the top of your mat. Exhale, press the hips back. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, press your hips back, ears in line with the arms. Inhale to tabletop. Let's press the hips back once more into active child's pose. Inhale into your tabletop position. We're going to move once more into our bent knee down dog. So tuck your toes under. Inhale as you look towards the top of your mat. Exhale, draw your navel towards your spine. Inhale, lift the knees. Press the hips back where arms are nice and straight. Ears come in line with the arms. Try not to curve your spine here, but nice engaged belly. Belly is moving towards the thighs. Breathe. One more breath. Exhale, come on back down into your tabletop position. Untuck the toes, press the hips back. Let's make our way into a full child's pose this time. So relax the forearms. Relax the tip of the head onto your mat. If your hips are up, that's okay. Just come to where you're able to feel comfortable and able to get a good breath is fine. Inhale back into your tabletop position. We're going to do our bent knee down dog once more. So look towards the top of your mat, nice deep inhale. Exhale, draw the navel toward the spine. Tuck your toes under on your next inhale, lift your knees. Press your hips back. Knees are bent, we're moving belly towards the thighs. Nice strong legs. 3 breaths here. One more breath. Exhale, knees come back down to your mat. Untuck your toes, come back into your child's pose. Relaxed child's pose, extended child's pose. Forearms are relaxed on your mat. Tip of your forehead is relaxed. Let's take 3 breaths here. Inhale back into your tabletop position. All right, so let's step the right foot to the back of the mat and just do a few circles here with the heel. So keep the belly engaged. Each time you exhale, really drawing the navel toward the spine. Switch directions with that heel. All right, so then come on back Ball of the foot is on your mat. This is your right foot. And on your next inhale, go ahead and extend the left arm. So left arm comes into alignment with the ear. Gazes towards your mat. Nice strong arms here. All right, on your next inhale, maybe lifting that right leg, extending the right leg, pressing through the heel, flexing through your foot here, reaching through the fingertips, and then exhale, make your way back down to your mat, tabletop. Inhale, look towards the top of your mat. Exhale, press the hips back. We're in active child's pose here. So nice long extended arms, ears in line with the arms. Inhale to tabletop. Exhale, active child's pose. Inhale to tabletop. We'll do that once more. Exhale, press the hips back, active child's pose. Inhale back into your tabletop position. This time, go ahead and step the left foot back. So we're on the ball of the foot here, and we're just going to make some circles with the heel. Keep the belly engaged. This just helps to protect your low back. Switch directions with that heel. And then come on back to neutral. So we're still on the ball of the foot. On your next inhale with nice strong arms here, maybe think about spreading the fingers nice and wide. We're looking towards the top of the mat. Belly is engaged. On your next inhale, lift your left leg. Extend your right arm. Fingertips are reaching. You're flexing through that left foot. Breathing here. Exhale, release. Inhale. Exhale, press the hips back. Full child's pose here. So this time we're going to bring the forehead to the mat, tip of the forehead to the mat, and then slide your arms back beside your legs so that your palms are facing up. Allow the shoulders to be nice and heavy here, nice and relaxed, and we'll take 3 breaths here. One more breath. Slide your hands next to your knees, and on your next inhale, gently press into your hands. Keep your chin tucked. We're just going to start to roll up. See if we can roll up one vertebrae at a time, where head will come up last. And a few shoulder rolls from here, back and forward. All right, so we're going to make our way back into tabletop. All right, so knees under hips, wrists under the shoulders, fingers are spread nice and wide. We're looking towards the top of the mat, taking a nice deep breath in. Exhale, draw your navel towards your spine, protect your low back. We're going to step the right foot back this time. Ball of the foot is on our mat. Inhale, extend the left arm. On your next inhale, if it's available to you, go ahead and lift that right leg. So we're extending through the heel of the right foot, through the fingertips. And then I just want you to pulse it from here. So we're going to inhale, lift, exhale, come back to neutral. Let's go 3 times. Once more. And release. All right. Do whatever movements feel good to you. Maybe sway the hips a little side to side. You can come back into your child's pose if you need a little rest on your wrists. Inhale back into your tabletop. We're going to do the other side. So let's sway the hips back and side to side for just a moment. Feels good. All right, come on back to neutral. All right, we're going to step the left foot back this time. We're on the ball of the foot. We're going to extend the right arm. Arm is in line with the ear. Gaze is towards the mat. On your next inhale, lift your back leg, extending through fingertips and the heel. And we're going to pulse 3 times. Inhale, lift, and release. Exhale, come on back down. Inhale. Exhale, press the hips back. Extended child's pose. Let's make our way into full child's pose once more. So arms come back down beside the legs, palms facing up. Shoulders are completely relaxed. Breathing here. Slide your hands next to your knees. On your next inhale, roll back up 1 vertebra at a time. Head will come up last. Give a few shoulder rolls here, back and forward. And let's make our way onto the belly so we can just move the blanket out of the way. We're going to work on just strengthening the low back here. So make your way onto your belly. Forehead comes to the mat. Bring your hands under your shoulders. Tips of the fingers are in line with the tips of the shoulders here. Just kind of shake out your hips for just a moment. Take a few breaths here. We're just going to start to strengthen here and draw the elbows in nice and close to the body. All right, come on into your neutral space here. Fingers are spread nice and wide. Elbows are tucked in nice and tight. Shoulders are down and back. Inhale. Exhale, draw your navel towards your spine. On your next inhale, gently press into your hands. Lift your head, lift your heart. We're going to keep the gaze towards the mat and just start to breathe. So we're going to take 3 breaths here. And then exhale, come on back down. Forehead comes to the mat. Shake out the hips. All right, let's move into that once more. So bringing hands come under the shoulders. Keep the hands where they were before. Hands under the shoulders, fingertips in line with the tips of the shoulders. We're going to bring the shoulders down and back. Inhale. Exhale. And on your next inhale, with the elbows tucked in nice and tight, we're going to start to lift the head, lift the heart. And again, we're just going to take 3 breaths here. So gaze remains towards the mat. Exhale, release, shake out the hips. We're going to do that once more. So whenever you're ready, we're going to come back to our neutral position. We're going to keep the elbows tucked in tight. We're going to draw the shoulders back and down. We're going to inhale. And exhale, draw the navel toward the spine. Protect your low back. Inhale gently, press into the hands, lift the head, lift the heart. Gaze remains on the mat, 3 breaths. Exhale, release. Shake it out. And then go ahead and extend your arms overhead. So extend your arms overhead. We can still continue to shake out the hips from here if you like. I just want you to take a few breaths with the arms and legs extended. Keep the head relaxed, the shoulders relaxed. Take a few breaths with nice long exhales. All right. From here, we're going to make our way into a Sphinx pose from here. So what I want you to do is just slide your hands back under your shoulders. We're just going to start to lift and then slide the hands forward. You want your fingers spread nice and wide. You want your elbows tucked in nice and tight. And then you want your shoulder and your elbow to be in line with each other. All right. So fingers are wide, elbows are tucked in nice and tight. We're not sinking down into the shoulders, but we're lifting up. So we're lifting the heart. Our gaze is forward. We're going to take 3 breaths here. And then on your next exhale, go ahead and slide the hands back. Forehead comes to the mat. Shake out the hips. And when you're ready, we're going to make our way back into our Sphinx pose. Sliding the hands forward. Elbows and shoulder are in line with each other. Fingers are spread nice and wide. Our elbows are tucked in. We're lifting the heart. We're not sinking down on the shoulders, but we're lifting out of the shoulders. Our gaze is forward. All right, so take 3 breaths here. We're gonna move into a different phase of this pose. So from here, we're just gonna bend the right knee and then point the right toes. And then I want you to take a nice deep inhale with your gaze forward. And then exhale and start to turn your gaze over your left shoulder. See if you can notice your toes or your foot in your peripheral vision. Let's take 3 breaths here. On your next inhale, come back to center. Drop that right foot back down to your mat. Let's just bring the forehead back down to the mat for just a moment. Hands come back under the shoulders. Go ahead and shake out the hips. So we're just taking our time through this pose so that we can strengthen the back, but also bring some relaxation to this posture, making each phase of the pose easier to move into with a nice steady breath. All right, so when you're ready, we're going to slide the hands forward, Come back into your Sphinx pose. Elbow and shoulder are in line. Fingers are spread nice and wide. Elbows are tucked in. We're lifting out of the shoulders, lifting the heart, looking forward. Inhale. Let's take 3 breaths here. All right. So this time we're going to bend the left knee. We're pointing the left toes. And when you're ready on your next exhale, you're going to turn your gaze over your right shoulder. So, you may be able to see your toes on one side and not on the other. So maybe if you do this on a different day, you can go back to the side that's maybe not the easiest for you to do. 3 breaths. Inhale back to center. Drop that foot. Slide the hands back as you bring your forehead back to your mat. Shake out the hips. This time we're going to gently press into the hands. Lift and press the hips back. Make your way right back into a nice full child's pose. Now you can use a blanket here if you like. If something doesn't reach the floor, if your bottom doesn't reach towards your heels, you can always use a blanket to fill any spaces. So whatever feels good. We're going to bring the forehead to the mat. We're going to slide the hands back so that the palms are up. And we're just going to take a few breaths here, fully relaxed. Sliding hands next to the knees. We're going to gently press into the hands, roll back up to seated on the inhale. All right, a few shoulder rolls here, back and forward. And let's go ahead and move to the top of the mat with knees bent. So we're back to the top of our mat. Our knees are bent. Go ahead and grab behind your knees. Sit up nice and tall. Nice deep inhale. Exhale, lean back, tuck your tailbone, make your way onto your mat as you draw your knees toward your chest. And then just give a little rock side to side. And then a few knee circles can feel pretty good here, just releasing any tension in the low back, giving the low back a little massage, both directions. Come on back to center. Inhale as you press your knees away. We're going to bring the feet back to the mat with knees bent. Go ahead and bring your arms out to a T in line with your shoulders. We're going to cross right leg over left. Inhale here at center. Exhale as you allow the knees to drop over to the left. And you want to go as far as the right shoulder stays on the mat. If the right shoulder starts to come up off of your mat, you can take a blanket, a folded blanket, and just rest it under your knees. Just to allow you to fully relax in this posture, not think about the pose, but really thinking about the breath. So on your next exhale, maybe turn your gaze to look over the right shoulder, as long as it feels good. And then if you like, you can also bring that left hand to the knee, just as a reminder of where you want it to go. We're not pulling the knee, we're just resting the hand here. Breathe. Nice long exhales. Bringing both arms back out to a T. Inhale the head back to center. Inhale and exhale once more. Inhale your knees back to center. Uncross your legs. And we'll do the other side. Excuse me. So this time we're just crossing left leg over right. Our arms are back out to a T. On your next exhale, drop your knees over to the right. And again, just as far as you can keep your left shoulder on your mat. And if you need any blanket to fill space under the knee, maybe gazing over the left shoulder if it feels okay. Hand comes to that top knee just as a reminder of where you'd like for it to go. Never pulling, never forcing. Working with your breath here. Nice long exhales. When you're ready, release your grip. Arms come back out to a T. Inhale, knees back to center, head back to center. Uncross your legs. Just invite you to roll over to one side or the other and use your hand and forearm to inhale your way back up to seated. Back into our easy pose. Bringing hands together at heart center. Thank you so much for sharing this practice with me today. Peace and blessings to each and every one of you. Have a wonderful week. Namaste.